Going to war. Against who? Against what? I don't know. Let's see if the IMDb plot will let us know. Vietnam, 1968, for those who didn't know. A recon unit known as Vulture Squad is sent to an isolated jungle valley to uncover the fate of the missing Green Beret platoon. They soon discover they are not alone. Okay, they didn't just help us out there. Okay, anyway, I'll help it out with that. So this is a new one recently released. Still think it's making some rounds and being released in some places. So I will try to be spoiler free, although I don't really think there's anything to spoil here. If you already know what's going on here, then that's about it. There's not too many other surprises. Basically, as it's there, as it's mentioned, wartime, U.S. soldiers in Vietnam fighting the good fight. Early on, going to definitely see them at a battle or two. They're in the jungle. Get introduced to a couple of the soldiers here, a couple of characters at play, and then they're going to be sent on a much bigger mission and an important mission for them. And it is soon enough on that mission that things start going a little sideways, or a lot sideways, as they kind of get in the middle of, I guess, some creatures, to say it first, and they're really not sure what, but soon enough it becomes very clear that they are in Jurassic Park. No, okay, maybe not Jurassic Park. Maybe Jurassic Park before there was Jurassic Park, or I don't know. I guess it's not Jurassic Park. I can't help myself. Anyway, yes, it's dinosaurs. Dinosaurs is what is in this jungle, and it is dinosaurs that they're going to have to fight and escape from. So, while they thought they were going to war with regular people and certain soldiers out there, they are not. They are going to cross some dinosaurs and going to have to fight their way out of the disaster that they got themselves in. And that pretty much kind of sums up what is happening here in this movie. I guess a couple of things to kind of say about it. When I mentioned Jurassic Park, and every time you mention a dinosaur movie, that's the go-to, obviously. And I think one of the things when Jurassic Park, I think I've reviewed maybe, I know I reviewed Rebirth and at least one or two others. I know every time I kind of, one of the things I kind of say in it is, I wish, we'd really get down to the dinosaurs, the dinosaurs really killing people. They'll scoop a person up, and we've seen a moment here or there, in Jurassic Park, I guess in the total Jurassic Park franchise here, of maybe getting a little bit bloodier or a little bit crazy here and there. But I think for the most part, it is still, while it has dinosaurs that are killing people and whatever, it's still, sort of family friendly. So, it doesn't always, really get into it. So I think, one of the things this one does is it does have some moments there where it really digs into it. The dinosaurs will get really messy with the people here, and what I mean is the blood and guts, and you guys know that I like the blood and guts. So there are some moments here where the dinosaurs are going to rip people apart. You're going to see blood, and you're really gonna get to see, I guess the dinosaurs sink their teeth into it, and so forth. So that is a kind of a welcome sight, a welcome difference here with this and Jurassic Park, and that I would say, I enjoyed, that. I mean, they are, fierce creatures, animals, whatever you want to call them, and the ones that are obviously after meat and people and whatever. They're not going about it in a friendly manner here. So why not? So that is something that this film gets into, and definitely I enjoyed it. You're going to see, as far as your dinosaurs, they do show a couple of the more friendly ones, the big ones, and some of the other ones that are not necessarily going to attack anybody. But of course, we get a T-Rex, we get some raptors, and I guess they have their own version of raptor in this one. There's some that are a little bit bigger, and then there's a group that's a little bit smaller. I don't know if they necessarily wanted them, if you want to call them raptor or not. They certainly look like it. And then a couple of other ones that we've seen, obviously the ones that fly. I'm not going to test my dinosaur knowledge off the top of my head here. But obviously, the ones that fly, we got Triceratops or whatever, the ones with the horns, whatever, all those. We get a couple of familiar ones, and then, like I said, maybe the raptors, they play with a little bit. Seemed a little feathery, I don't know. But so we get that kind of feel of it, and certainly some craziness here, as it kind of goes along, and as they kind of fight their way through it. Shout out to them, because they apparently have unlimited ammo, like we're in a video game, so that was pretty cool. I don't know how much ammo you're carrying. Obviously gonna need a lot of ammo to take down some dinosaurs. But anyway, I guess that's just something you overlook. And other than that, I guess I'm not gonna say that you dive too much into these characters and whatever. You learn about a little bit about a few of them early on, but once it's there, once they're kind of in the forest, it's like whatever. If someone's gonna survive, they survive. If not, who really cares? We're fighting dinosaurs, and let's have some fun with it. So, the movie is almost 2 hours and almost 15 minutes. So I guess it was a touch long. Like I said, maybe they could have got to the dinosaurs maybe a little bit quicker. That's really what you come to see, but, they had to have their time to kind of set up the war and the characters and whatever. And, I guess, they wanted to do different things with the dinosaurs, so, we stretched it out, but that's fine. Get into that. As far as the dinosaurs themselves, I thought they did an okay job. I think, it was a mixed bag. I think, some of it looked really good, and then there were other times where, maybe, not, fantastic, I guess. Not terrible, not like, oh my God, what are they doing? Not shark level CGI BS that I always complain about. But, I don't know that it was, and I wouldn't have expected it to kind of be, on a Jurassic Park level. I think that's, they do a really, really fantastic job with the dinosaurs. Maybe it was because we're in a very jungle-ish out, kind of thing here. And even though Jurassic Park, kind of tends to maybe a similar kind of background, but I don't know. It's just, it didn't maybe look as, fully crisp as maybe Jurassic Park. But obviously, again, Jurassic Park, has a huge budget, and they can do lots with it. I don't know what the budget of this movie was, and so forth. But again, not bad. Not, we're not talking sci-fi level here. They did a pretty good job. I just say, maybe, here and there, maybe it wasn't 100% or wasn't, of, I guess, Jurassic Park quality. But, and it's a shame. I don't mean to kind of compare this, only to Jurassic Park and whatever. Obviously, it's an easy thing to do. But, I think, again, if you're looking for dinosaurs and looking for dinosaurs to really kind of get violent and into that, I think this movie is going to give you, a couple of those opportunities. If you're like me and kind of wanted that more from Jurassic Park, I know that maybe some sci-fi stuff did, stuff with dinosaurs and whatever, but that's, looking severely super fake. I think, this one still did a good job overall with it. So, I don't know that don't know that you can get, totally hugely excited for soldiers and following their adventure or whatever. I don't know. Again, I guess that is different from, again, Jurassic Park, because, you get more, a different mix of characters and so forth. But yeah, like I said, I guess, just for me personally, I guess it just comes down to a little bit of the blood and guts here, and to have fun with that. So I think at the end of the day, I'm gonna give this one 2.5 pools of blood out of 5. Kind of down the middle here again. For the millionth time, that they get to the meat of the dinosaurs and killing and so forth. Nothing super fabulous, about the story. Kind of simple. Throw them in wartime, soldiers against dinosaurs, blah blah. So I think overall, like I said, they did a pretty good job. It doesn't end up being some like indie really bad CGI dinosaur movie. It is still pretty good quality. Maybe not perfect, but still good here. So again, that'll be 2.5 pools of blood out of 5. So with that, horrorgory-reviews.blogspot.com is where you can find all of my reviews, written and video. Certainly tons of video reviews for a long time now, so you can like and subscribe and do everything else that everybody wants to do here on YouTube. If not, no worries, it is okay. I thank you for your time regardless. Twitter, Facebook information down below as well. Reach out there. Talk about dinosaurs, Jurassic Park. If you see this movie, this versus Jurassic Park, and definitely in the comment section as well. Once you guys kind of catch it, did you like it? And, were the dinosaurs, did they kind of meet your expectations? So with that, I will catch you on the next review, horror fans.